Today, it is all about the US Marshals, because even the FBI need heroes. Hey guys, what is going on? So a lot of you gave me a lot of feedback on the live stream that I did. Who would have known that you guys would have been so entertained by a cop playing Grand Theft Auto? So I do realize that I need a better graphics card, I need a better processor, I need a better everything. So I think what I'm going to do is get a new computer entirely here in the next couple of months. So I think I'm going to create a separate channel for the gaming because I don't want everything under Officer 401. So I think I'm going to do a separate channel and do some either live streams, or I think I might pre-record as well. So we will see how that goes. But hopefully, like I said, here in the next couple months, I'll have a new computer. What I really want is a bike. I want a bike so I can start motovlogging. So a lot of you have been requesting that I do a video on the US Marshals, and I'm surprised that I haven't thought about this already, considering my dad is a former Marshal. But I think it's a really good idea, and I've had a lot of good experiences with the Marshals. So for those of you that are not familiar, the U.S. Marshals are the oldest federal law enforcement agency in the United States, and they were created by the Judiciary Act in 1789 by George Washington himself. And thanks to President George Washington, we now have what is known as one of the most badass federal agencies in existence. And one of the cool things that the Marshals are noted for is protecting James Meredith in 1962. He was an African-American student that wanted to attend the University of Mississippi, and the Marshals basically escorted him to class for his entire first year at this college. And basically the Marshals are responsible for like hunting fugitives, federal court security, federal judge security, and federal prisoner transport. So they either like out hunting bad guys or they're protecting them so they can go to court. They also run the witness protection program. So needless to say, the U.S. Marshals are pretty badass. And I'm not biased towards the Marshals because my dad was a Marshal. If he was in the FBI, I'd probably be making fun of him. But hey, instead he decided to stand up to pee instead of sit down. But all jokes aside, every federal agency has their own role in maintaining peace in the United States. Everybody has a different job. And me and my dad have watched a lot of police movies throughout the years, and one of his favorite movies is The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. And in the movie, Harrison Ford is accused of killing his wife. And Tommy Lee Jones is responsible for trying to hunt him down and find him. Well, long story short, there's a scene where they meet up in the tunnel and they're in a dam, and I guess Tommy Lee Jones slips and drops his gun, and Harrison Ford picks it up, points it at him and says, "I didn't kill my wife." And Tommy Lee Jones gradually stands up and he's got his hands up and he tells him, "I don't care." And this really sums up the Marshals in a very short dialogue. They're not the judge, they're not the jury, they're not the executioner. They don't care what you did or whether you did it. Their only job is to get you, if you have a warrant, to find you and to bring you to court. That's it. And some police officers, you might be a cop for 1 year and get involved with the Marshals, or you might be a cop for 10 years and never get involved with the Marshals. It really depends on what division you're in, what department you're in, and stuff like that. When I was in the aggressive patrol squad, we used to deal with the Marshals quite often because the city that I live in, there's a very high crime rate. They were always looking for somebody near us, if not in the city. So we used to help them out pretty frequently whenever they had a warrant and they needed our help. So I remember one particular time. I know you guys love story time. So I remember one particular time the Marshals were looking for somebody. He did 10 years in prison for being an accessory to murder of a police officer. So he did his 10 years and then he got out. And why dickhead only got 10 years, I don't know. But anyway, he did 10 years, he got out, and within 2 weeks of being out of prison, he stabbed his girlfriend in the arm with a knife so hard that the knife bent when it hit the bone in her arm. I know it's pretty graphic, but I tell it like it is. So needless to say, he was out on parole and he's going back to prison, so he takes off running. And I can't remember the time frame. It might have been a couple of days when the Marshals found him. So we tracked him down to an apartment in the projects. And I remember we met nearby, we got all like geared up in our tactical stuff. And we hit the front door, and I remember we cleared the entire bottom floor. Like, everybody's nerves were on edge because this guy was going back to prison for a long time, and he had already helped kill a cop, so we didn't know like what he was capable of, whether he was armed, stuff like that. So we cleared the entire bottom floor of this apartment, and now keep in mind there's like 20 cops in the apartment, and there's like 20 more outside waiting in case he tried to run or do something stupid. We clear the whole bottom floor, we go upstairs, and I remember there was 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, and it was a bathroom on the left, a bedroom on the right, and then all the way at the end of the hallway was another bedroom. So we ended up clearing the bedroom on the right, we cleared the bathroom on the left, and I'll never forget this until the day I die. That last bedroom, we had like 10 flashlights bouncing off this wall, and it looked like something straight out of a movie. It was so theatrical. So we walked up to the door, and as soon as we hit the door, the weirdest shit happened. The dude we were looking for is standing right there facing away from us, and he won't show us his hands. So we're like screaming at him, like, show us your hands, show us your hands. And he does the weirdest shit I have ever seen in my life. He turns around super quick, man, like it was almost like he was about to shoot a gun. And he brings his hands up to his mouth and he starts trying to light a cigarette. So one of the officers, like, they don't hesitate, like they just pop him with the taser. And it's funny looking back on it now, but even as he's falling down, it was almost slow motion. As he was falling down, he was still trying to light his cigarette. I don't know if this dude was like trying to get shot, if he just didn't give a shit, I don't know. But the movement he made when he turned around, I'll never forget that. So yeah, that was probably one of the most memorable times I've ever had dealing with the marshals. And it's funny because people always talk about how aggressive cops are and on and on. If you think local cops are aggressive, wait till you meet a US Marshal. These fuckers are like 6'6" and fed Wheaties their entire life. And if there's one thing that I've learned about the US Marshals in my years of doing this, like, if you have the US Marshals after you, like, you really messed up somewhere down the line. The marshals aren't going to chase somebody for like burglary or, you know, weed charge or whatever. These guys look for like serial killers and assassins and like crime ring leaders and shit like that. Like, they're not going after small time people. So if you have the marshals after you, like, you royally screwed up. The one thing I will tell you guys that are for those of you that are interested in putting in for the marshals, their application process is not easy. It's not even easy getting an application into them because they only open their application, from what I've seen. Now, based on what I've seen, they only open up their application for like 24 hours once every couple of years. The U.S. Marshals rarely have an opening because nobody wants to leave. Everybody loves the job, and it's a very small agency, so it's extremely hard to get in. You would have a better chance at getting in with the Marshals if you join a different federal agency, and then later down the line you do a lateral transfer over. That's the good thing about the federal system. Once you're in, like once your foot's in the door, like you're good to go. You're in the federal system. So if you want to work for the FBI or the ATF, you could transfer between these agencies, and you don't lose your retirement. Your pay stays the same. It's really a good gig trying to get in with the feds. If you guys can get in with the feds, a lot of you send me email after email after email saying you're in school, like what classes should you take, what agency should you apply for, should you go into the military first. My biggest recommendation, maybe this will set kind of a standard for everybody. My biggest recommendation, number one, get your college degree. Even though there are some federal agencies that don't require it, it's always best to have your college degree. If you don't want to get a college degree, I would at least get 4 years military experience. Most federal agencies will scoop you up in a heartbeat if you have military experience. So get that under your belt. As far as education goes, honestly, I would recommend a degree in psychology. Everybody that goes into law enforcement has a damn criminal justice degree, so you're going to look like a dime a dozen. But if you have something like psychology, something that really is practical to the job, people are going to scoop you up a lot quicker than the others. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. I hope the video was educational. I actually had to film it a second time because my recorder decided to die somewhere mid-sentence. Needless to say, I was pretty pissed. So I am going to the store. I'm going to go get some steaks. I'm going to cook steak for dinner, edit video, and head to work tonight. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and joining me once again, and I will try to get a video out here by the end of the weekend. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support as always, and I will see you soon.